Like in my first couple months, I lost 1,000, and that was like, I guess, kind of painful. And I knew right away, like, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Then I changed kind of like how I look at it. I took a couple weeks break, and then I basically like tried to shift how I thought about Forex through.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another trader interview here at SFT. Today, I have with me Miikah Keeshig from Canada, and he has managed to withdraw 4K from SFT. And I have him here with me today to explain his journey as a trader and how he has actually managed to become profitable. So, Miikah, thank you very much for being here with me today.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So, we'll start off with a real obvious basic question. Why Forex? How did you actually get into trading in the first place?
Yeah, so basically, like last December, my friend introduced it to me, and it was like penny. It was penny stocks, and I kind of got obsessed like right from the get-go. I let I put in like a couple thousand, and I see my money go up and down. And I was like, I just knew it was for me right away. So from then on, I just kind of like looked at mentorships and stuff, and then I ended up joining this mentorship that ended up being like kind of a scam, but it taught like the basics well, and I learned market structure, which actually helped kind of long term. But it just cost too much. But it kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of like hit me in the face real quick, and then I don't know, I ended up going through a lot of different iterations, and I don't know. I guess that's how I started. Um,
Yeah, it's
I don't
quite
really know.
interesting as well. It seems like
Yeah.
and this is quite a short journey. This is probably the shortest journey that I have personally spoken to someone about to actually reach profitability. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
was it an easy ride for you the last year?
Uh, I'm gonna say no, but I think like right away I kind of knew how difficult it was. Like in my first couple months I lost 1,000, and that was like, I guess, kind of painful. And I knew right away, like, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Then I changed kind of like how I look at it. I took a couple weeks break, and then I basically like tried to shift how I thought about Forex through, if it's lifestyle changes, or I would like read some books about it and discover more about trading. And I guess it's kind of personal, just a lot of lifestyle things that I would change in order to change how I think about it. Like, honestly, I think it was like 3 months in that I knew that it was just it was a psychological thing.
Mm.
And I knew like I just had to work on my lifestyle and being disciplined in my life. And I kind of felt like I knew what to do in my life in order to be successful in this. I'm not exactly successful. I don't want to say like I'm even that successful, but enough to make some money, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there were obviously success is a really broad term. It's individual to
Right.
everyone. And I mean, for
Yeah.
me, I've been in and out of Forex for 5 years and still not at that level. So, I mean, to
Right.
me, you are successful. But like you said, when you come in, it's the rough ride, and you realize that there's a lot about yourself you need to change. And from the sounds of it, you came in on your own personal funds. At what point did you realize, or did you discover prop firms?
Oh, I discovered it like first thing. Um, like the mentorship I was a part of, they like had the prop firms with their like website, and I thought that was part of their mentorship, but it was it was not, obviously. So like I looked at the prop firms, and it kind of like I didn't understand them at first, and then I just like looked at YouTube and stuff, and then I just knew like, and then I would try different prop firms. I would learn about some of the spreads with some of them. Um, yeah, I mean, I know it gives more capital, and that's pretty much why I just wanted more capital.
Yeah,
So
and I think that's what it comes down to. I think most traders get
yeah,
to the point where they realize that capital is the difference between success and failure. So, I mean, talk to us a little bit about your journey with your strategy. So, when you first came in, up until kind of making your first payout, did it kind of evolve at all?
definitely evolved. It started like it started with like market structure going. It started as like a scalping strategy, and I tried it. It was okay, but it didn't really work for me. And then I think 4 or 5 months in, I tried swing trading, and I didn't even really like swing trading that much. But I ended up like coming back to scalping actually, like just lately in the past 3 months, and then I found a strategy that I resonated with. It's pretty simple, it's pretty clear rules that I have. I don't even write them down. I just have them in my head, and I just kind of follow them as best I can.
Mm,
Risk management strategy too. I have that down, and yeah, I'm back to scalping, and yeah, it works for me. I don't want to hold a trade longer than like 2 hours. So now it's just a simple strategy. Like it's less about the strategy to me anyway, but at the same time, you need to have those clear rules when it comes to when you get in and risk management, especially.
mm. And I do think, like you just said, it is less about the strategy at the end of the day. I think most strategies can work. You will have seen certain traders use strategies effectively that you don't personally use. But I mean, can you walk us through? I know it's quite hard to explain in words sometimes,
Yeah,
but can you kind of walk us through how your strategy works and how it plays
sure,
out?
sure. Okay, so starts with a higher time frame, like 4 hour, just break a structure if it's up or down, like if it's like if it's a major low or a major high, then I'll know, okay, I'm looking for buys, I'm looking for sells, and then I enter on usually the 5 minute time frame, and it's pretty much the exact same thing, like break a structure up, and then I'll draw a supplier demand zone, and then I'll wait for price to come into the zone, wait for a break of the candle, and then I enter. It's by Doyle Exchange. If you guys know him, that's uh, that's his strategy, and I follow it. So
Yeah, and I think sometimes the simple strategies are often the most successful ones. Like you said, if you're able
yeah,
to actually just keep it in your head, you don't even need it down on paper, then
yeah,
it's easy to follow. But I mean,
exactly.
like you said, you went from scalping to swing and back to scalping. So that
Yeah,
means obviously you did have a few speed bumps there. Was there
yeah,
kind of any part of the journey where it was like, maybe I'm not cut out for this?
yeah. Actually, yeah, I thought about quitting, like because it was 4 months in, and I would trade, and I would be okay for a couple weeks, and then I would just throw like risk management out the window just because I don't know, and I would like risk my account, and it ended up going well for me actually. On this one, I had like a one phase challenge, and it ended up just like shooting way past my take profit, and ended up getting that account, and then that it was just pure luck, right? And then I think like a week after, I did the same thing. I made like $1,000. I was hyped. I thought I was the man and all that. And I ended up just losing the account like a couple days after that. And then and then yeah, and then after I lost the account, and I think I lost another challenge, and I was just, I mean, deep down I knew I wasn't gonna quit, because I just knew like I'm just not gonna quit this. Um I don't know why. It's just one of the things I do now. Like I have a couple things that I do in my day, and this is one of them. And it's like I'm down to, because it was painful. I'm gonna be honest, and it sucks to like lose. Like hurts the ego, but I can handle that. And yeah, I just kept at it, man. I'm not gonna quit. It's like
Yeah, I mean,
so,
perseverance is not
yeah,
just in Forex, in any business and any venture, perseverance ends up being quite an important factor of success. And obviously, after kind of going through the bad period, even knowing deep down that you were still going to keep at it, is there kind of any experiences you've gone through in life that have built this in you? Because not everyone can deal with the blows.
right. No, definitely. Um, I guess um I don't know. I used to play like hockey and stuff, and I played that for my whole life. And I used to like, go through struggles with like, I guess, trying out for teams and playing against different teams. And I used to do martial arts as well. And I think the physical activity probably strengthened my mind, and
Mm,
because I wanted it so bad, I wanted to win the game. I wanted to. It's like that kind of thing, you know. Like I think in my life, I just do things that strengthen my mind. I guess you know, if it's sports, if it's art, I started working on different art too, and I don't know. I think it's different for everyone too. You know,
mm.
it's I don't think like it even has to be sports. Like somebody can try and perfect something, and then that you know them trying that will translate to other parts of their life. That's how I see it. So
Mm. And I do find it interesting because you wouldn't be the first person to kind of speak to me about coming from a sports background. And I
yeah,
think there is something in athletes that it's that winner's mentality. No one does
yeah,
sport for any other reason than to win. So I think when you come into this sort of industry where it is just you against you, that mentality helps you obviously go a long, long way. And
yes,
yeah, so like you said, you're you first had a mentor, and obviously like you said, the mentorship didn't quite go to plan, but you did take what you needed to from it. Was there
yeah,
any other key educational elements that kind of got you to where you are now?
yeah. I would say Doyle Exchange has been a pretty good help. His strategy is very simple, and I think that was why it resonated with me is because the rules are so like you just have to. There's like 3 or 4 rules that you have to follow. It's so simple, and even his psychology stuff on YouTube is amazing. Like it's free, you know. Like some people pay a lot to like to listen to what he has to say. I feel like, and it's him. There's a couple other guys, but a big thing for me actually was to just not listen to a lot of people when it
Mm,
comes to forex. Like that's kind of I don't want to blame because at the end of the day, it's me who's failing. You know, when it came to my struggles in the past, but I just know that watching a lot of these forex guys who they might be real, they might not. A lot of them aren't. I'm gonna be honest. Um, just don't listen to these guys. Like I know it doesn't help me. This is me personally. I don't know. I just try to I guess close my eyes to things that don't help me, that are negative, stuff like that. And so I only try to listen to like maybe 2 or 3 people on YouTube when it comes to forex, and I don't even try to look at that much anyway. I just because it's so easy. Like I mean, it's not so easy because trading is very hard.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're following your rules and risk management, which is difficult, but it's simple at the same time. So
Yeah, and I think information overload is something that I suffered from when I first came into the industry, just kind of learning from everyone, all the different strategies, and it does get on top of you, and it gets to the point where you don't know who's telling the truth and who's not. So you're probably
yeah,
making quite an intelligent decision to try and block out some of the noise. And like you
yeah,
said, it comes down to the systems that you create for yourself, and it comes down to risk management. How, like, could you explain to us, like, how you do actually go around managing your risk?
yeah. So I try to risk like 1 to 2%, you know, on my because I the account I made the money on was only a 25K account, you know, so it's impossible. Like I try to do 1 to 2% risk on the challenge, which I still do, but I would basically like take those trades and I would lose on like my on my phase one or phase twos, and then I would almost know that my next trade would be a win, and I ended up just putting on like more risk on my funded account, and ended up just going very well. And yeah, I don't know, it just worked out, and because I know I'm not supposed to make that much percent on the 25K, but it worked out. So
Yeah, I mean, I
you
feel
know,
like there's no real benchmark. I think people are always contemplating whether or not they've made enough on their payout, whether they've made too much on their payout. But I think it's all individual. Like you said right at the start, it's a personal journey that everyone goes
yeah,
through. And I don't think anyone can tell you you're right or wrong. But I mean, it's impressive. That's nearly a 20%. Well, technically, with the
yeah,
split, that's a 20% gain on the account.
yeah. Like I didn't expect that, honestly. It was unexpected. I really just wanted to make like a couple percent on the account, So I'm very thankful,
Mm.
it just worked out, and I'm gonna keep trading no matter what. I do want to get more accounts, and but at the same time, like even when I first started trading like last year, like even now, like I still want to be successful over like a 4 year kind of time frame. Like I'm definitely still in this like learning stages, and I definitely still feel like that. But it is nice to see like some success at this stage because it was unexpected, if I'm being honest. And yeah, like I just want to be successful over the long term, right? Like if I'm being completely honest, like after reading some psychology books and reading about a lot of people's stories, that's my time frame. So
Yeah, and I think it's very admirable that you are able to. I mean, a lot of people that get beginner's luck kind of get in over their heads, and it's like, okay, cool. I know what I'm doing now, and I'm going to continue to do that. It's quite humbling that you understand that there was an element of beginner's luck, and you
oh
know
yeah,
you're still in the learning phase.
yeah, and I'm still in the game, man. Honestly, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Yeah.
So in terms of you being quite new to the industry yourself, in my opinion, kind of a year is still quite fresh. Is there kind of any advice or like some of the biggest things that you've personally learned that you could share with other people coming into the industry in 2024?
Yeah, so if you want to master one thing, I would say like master two things or three things at once, kind of thing. Like if you want to be a master at Forex, go outside and play basketball. Like try and master that, or master drawing or something like that. Like, it doesn't. It could be It could be something you used to do, or something you currently do. Because if you're just trading, I think it's going to be very difficult. Um, it's like a lifestyle, and I don't know. I guess I just going back to my first point of just try and master multiple things, not just one thing, because you could burn out. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's very interesting as well because the majority of people that you would ask will tell you that if you're into forex, you need to block everything else out. But I think that's actually quite an interesting point to make because again, something I've suffered from myself. When I thought I was going to start taking forex seriously and go full time, it does almost consume you and it gets on top of you quite quickly. So yeah, having other outlets outside of forex is clearly, I mean, for me, it did help. For me, it was content creation. For you, like you
Yeah,
said, it's sports, it's drawing, and I do think everyone could look at their lives as traders and say, okay, are there areas of my life that I'm neglecting? Could I kind of progress in other areas at the same time?
yeah.
Um, but I mean, so forex, like you said, you got into forex through kind of people you knew. Why
Mhm.
is it that you were even looking in the first place? It's something that I've always been interested in. Forex is, I wouldn't say it's a nothing industry, but obviously there's no loss and no gain anywhere. Like it doesn't bring anything into the system, it doesn't take back out. It's something to generate wealth.
Yeah.
What is it that you're looking to generate wealth for? Like what's the end goal?
Mhm. Um, I guess um, I think I was just tired of being broke for like probably like a couple years ago, and I knew a lot of people were making money in Bitcoin, and it just happened like that. And it's like I knew about it, but I didn't really know about it. So when I talked to my friend about trading, like I just knew that that was exactly what I was looking for. And I guess to answer your question, it's more just about like long-term wealth more than anything. I just want to build a skill that gives me more money. I'm not even concerned with how much I make. I just want a piece of it. So and it's a little bit personal too, so I can't really say everything. But
Yeah, that's completely
yeah,
understandable.
yeah,
But I mean, the reason I ask this, I try and ask this to everyone because there's something about the people who actually stick forex out and can take the continuous beatdowns that this market
yeah,
wants to give you, and
yeah,
usually it happens to be because there's a significantly deeper reason that they need this to
yeah,
work.
and yeah, and like I think I just like wanted very badly inside, And like I said, it's personal to me, and I can't just talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not.
completely
I
fine.
guess I'm just not there yet, man. But um, like I guess you just have to want to do it. Like I'm sure people have been in that situation where they failed, like in some area in their life, and they're like, "There's no way I'm not gonna do this." Like
Mm.
that kind of vibe. So I don't feel like that about a lot of things, and Forex happened to be one of those things for me. So I just like I'm never gonna quit, and I'm gonna keep following my plan and changing it if I need to. Yeah, I guess that's all I got, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's good as well. I mean, like you said, I'm not expecting you to be able to dive into areas that you're uncomfortable with, but it is clear to me, and it has been clear to me for most traders that start to make money and then continuously stay in the game, that, like I said, there is a deeper reason that
Yeah,
keeps them going. Um,
yeah,
but I mean, on that note, because like I said, not everyone can deal with this industry. This is, like you said, it's simple, but it's
yeah,
hard. It's one of the hardest things you will ever do. What
yeah,
do you think it is that causes such a low pass rate in the industry? Like across the board, it's a sub 10% pass rate.
yeah, yeah. I think it's probably undisciplined. Like I don't think people are very disciplined in their lives, and it translates because I think it's that, and I think people care about money a lot, which makes sense because a lot of people are like working class, and we're all like paycheck to paycheck, so it's understandable. And like I'm not immune to that myself, but I think it's just a discipline thing. And if that many people are failing, then it has to be a lot of people are just undis, dis, sorry, undisciplined
No worries.
because um so yeah, that would be my take on it. I also try not to think about it too much. Like I try to kind of just create my own thoughts about trading too,
Mm.
because I know like at any time I could turn off my phone or not go on YouTube. So I think that's been a part of my journey too, is creating my own like thought patterns about what trading is and how I go about it. So it's like
Again, that's another very interesting point, because like we all know at this point that Forex is so psychological. Yes, you obviously have to have a strategy that works, and you need to have kind of mastered that, but the psychology behind it is usually the make or break. And again, you've got a very interesting view on the fact that it's like, okay, well, I know the stats, but I don't need to know. I can create my own thoughts about
yeah,
this.
yeah,
And I imagine that plays a big role in you being able to control your own trading psychology, knowing that you are in control of that situation. Um,
yeah, definitely.
but yeah, so discipline, in my opinion, is probably the biggest reason that people fail. Like, I agree with you. I think people know that there's a set of rules they've got to follow. If they are to follow them, then things will work out. But most people don't have the discipline to do that. Are there any other kind of qualities and skills that you think are almost mandatory for traders to become successful?
Another thing is just another psychological thing would just be like staying in the moment. And it's hard to know when you're not in the moment sometimes, if we're always thinking like, and I worked on that a lot. Like I worked on meditation and that sort of thing, and kind of catching myself when I'm not in the moment, like
Mm,
knowing that I'm just mindlessly thinking. So just like staying in the moment, like if it's breath, if it's just noticing where I am right now, that kind of thing, then that helps me. And it doesn't just help me in trading, it just helps me in life and with family and that sort of thing.
mm.
So it's staying in the moment is a big one. Um,
Yeah,
I started.
that's
Go ahead.
yeah, that self-awareness that, like you said, normally comes from practices such as meditation, which
Yeah,
a lot of people have very mixed views about. Like, I personally
yeah,
I'm a massive advocate of meditation. I find it a very important part of my life as a whole. Like you said, not just for Forex, for family, for like
yeah,
whatever stresses you got going on. But Yeah, I do think most of the points that you have spoken about have been around psychology. And
Yeah.
it does seem that even though you're still quite early on in your journey, you have control of a part of it, which most people find the hardest part
Mm.
to actually get hold of. The technical part, that's, I think anyone can learn technicals. It's the
Yeah.
psychology that is difficult. That's the bit that can take
Yes.
years, if not decades, to kind of get through.
Yes.
I mean, is
Yes.
there anything that brought you onto that path? Because for me, I'll be honest, the first time I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I think that was the first time I completely got into personal development, and my whole life started revolving around it. Was there like a moment for you where you realized that, like, how you were with yourself and how much you knew yourself was going to be key to your journey?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I think I've been into psychology for a long time. Like, even as a kid, I would just like think about how people act, I guess, and just think about, wow, I wonder why that person acts like that. And I would think about it. And then it would happen to me sometimes when things have happened in my life. I would just think about like how I react to things, and then, but I never got into meditation or anything. And um, I think I still carry that, where I like I'll do something in life, and then it's just like I think it's part of my nature, could be, that I just do something and then I think about why I did that, why I said that, like that kind of thing. And for other people too, I'll think like why is that why is that person like being like this, or like I don't know. But and then it would like and then I played hockey. Like, I used to be a goaltender. And I don't know if you know a lot about like goaltending and hockey, but it's like that's a big psychology game too, where it's like how you play actually matters about a lot about your
Mm.
confidence in the game, and how you feel about your like do you trust your teammates and stuff like that sort of thing. So I used to I played goalie for a long time, so I played with that psychological game as well. And like when I got into Forex, I was like, this is just another like big psychological game that I just have to like, notice how I react to to losing and gaining. Um, yeah, I guess I just like psychology, I think, just naturally.
Mm.
And
It's a
I think I
great
wanted to,
natural.
yeah, yeah.
Go on, sorry.
Um, no, that's all I had, man. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. I think it's a great natural quality to have. I also am kind of like that now. I don't think that I was I don't think I was like it when I was younger, but I did get to a point where I realized that everyone does act how they act for a certain reason. And
Yeah.
at first, it was about other people. And then I
Mhm.
realized that if it can be about other people, then what about me?
Yes.
What do I do day to day? How do I react to situations? And I, f- no worries. I feel like I've had quite a lot of like light bulb moments where I've realized that I have been responsible for some of the negative parts of my life. And I think most people need to understand that if your life's not where you want it to be, the likely person at fault is yourself. And I think that's really hard for people to deal with.
It is, yeah, and that's probably why the pass rate is so low. Like we have to look deep inside, and that's very difficult for a lot of people. I know it is. It's hard for me too. So, but it takes work, man. I feel like if you're working on yourself, then you're making that right step, kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to
Yeah.
help you, so nah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think that is. I have very similar opinions to you. I don't think there's anything wrong with the industry we're in. I think Forex as an industry is completely fine. I think prop
Yeah.
firms are set up in a perfect way for traders nowadays. And the
Yeah.
fact that the pass rates are still staying exactly the same leads me to believe that this is a societal problem, and
Yeah.
people in general need to look at themselves and understand that they are responsible. And
I
when they
completely
can
agree.
do that, yeah, when they can do that, maybe things will change. But until then, we'll guess it will have to be like this. But yeah, it's like I said, it's been very, very interesting to see your journey and how you see Forex. It's been very, very different to most of the other people I've spoken to. It's been very focused inwards on yourself more than in the exterior. So this has been very refreshing for me to hear.
That's awesome, man.
But as we kind of look to close out, one question I always ask everyone at the end, if Forex was no longer about, and this probably is a better question for you because you've actually found some passion in it. If tomorrow you found out you can't trade anymore, do you already have in the back of your head the place where you would move into?
100%. Like, even when I leave the charts, I'm always doing something, you know? Like, I'm always working on something. If I couldn't trade, I would probably put that passion into something else, which I'm already doing. So it's like, yeah, if I stop trading, it would kind of suck because I just like it, and it kind of gives me that stimulation every day, I guess. But yeah, what would I move into? Um, I still like sports. Like I like training and martial arts and stuff. I like to fight. I would probably just be a fighter, man.
Mm.
Nah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you know what, that thing in your mind that kind of pushes you towards that, in my opinion, I can't 100% say this obviously, but I feel like that is why you will carry on progressing in this. I don't think that the beginner's luck will end for you. I think you're going to be able to
Yeah,
continue into this.
I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna keep at it, 100%.
Awesome. Well, unless there are kind of any other things that, like I said, that I might have missed about your journey, we'll obviously look to wrap this up.
Yeah, just the discipline thing. I just definitely it's something I think about every day. Like when I wake up, I just kind of think like, am I doing the right things right now? And there are times where I'm not, and just knowing that like that's okay, and giving yourself the forgiveness when things don't go right. That's kind of another thing that was difficult. So, and I'm still
Yeah.
working on it. You know, it's like also this journey it never ends. So it's not like you're gonna get there. It's the same thing every day. So that's
Awesome.
all I got.
Well, just for everyone kind of just watching this, the biggest thing that I have taken from this is one, that this is a personal journey that has nothing to do with anyone else. I think that's probably the key thing that I've taken from this. But the other one, which again is a very interesting point that I haven't heard anyone else say, is that whilst you might have a passion for Forex, whilst it might be important to stick with it and put your focus into it, it's also just as important to make sure that you have mental outlets outside to keep yourself on track. So yeah, I've personally taken something from this. I hope everyone else has as well. But yeah, thank you so much for kind of taking the time to come on with us today, and I wish you all the best of luck for 2024.
Thanks, my friend. It was a pleasure.
Awesome.
Definitely. Awesome, man.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
All right, I'm just going to pause the recording.